Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, so I included a nashr and I included my own sketch to help decipher what's in a nashr. So I'm going to be basically reading off of my notes, inshallah. So in a situation such as وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمْ or السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمْ, there are a lot of things going on. First of all, the madhab or the choice of the qari. Is the first hamza the one that's been dropped or is it the second one? Okay, that's one, something to keep in mind. Number two, is the qari reading بتوسط المنفصل or بقصر المنفصل? Three, is the qari's madhab to ignore changes to hamza? So even if the hamza is dropped, the word is treated as it would be if the hamza was not dropped. That madhab is called al-i'tidad bil-asl. So ignoring the changes and embracing the original. So that's a madhab. There's another madhab, embracing the change and ignoring the original. So then they would look at a word like as-sufaha amwalakum and they'll say there's no hamza, it's gone. So now we have to deal with what we have now. So those are three elements that now we're looking at. Okay, so let's go to the column on the right. The column on the right, where the scholars, and it's the choice of Imam al-Shatibi and Ibn Jazari and the majority of scholars, that the hamza that is dropped in pronunciation is the first one. It's the hamza in the word as-sufaha. Okay, so that's the one that's dropped. Now, under that, you'll see the tawassut al-munfasil or the qasr al-munfasil. Let's say that the qari is reading bitawassut al-munfasil. Now, when they read for qalun in this situation, they either of the madhab of al-i'tidad bil-asl, so they ignore any changes, or they embrace changes. If they are going to ignore the change, then whether they pronounce the hamza or not, the word to them is as-sufaha. Okay, so that med will remain for harakas regardless of what's going on anywhere. Okay, if they embrace the change, then you have an alif followed by a hamza in a second word. So yes, in that situation, it will be med jaiz munfasil for them. But if they're reading with tawassut, then it is recited four harakas. Now, if they're reading with qasr, the madhab of ignoring change will still read it four. Why? Because it's still med wajib muttasil. But the madhab that embraces change will say there is no longer a hamza with the alif in the same word. There is a hamza, but it follows it in the second word. This is mad jaiz munfasil. In that case, and only in that case, is it jaiz to read it with two harakas. So it's jaiz to read it with two harakas. In the case that you are of the madhab where the dropped hamza is the first one, and if you are reciting with al-qasr, and if you are of the madhab of embracing change. That's the only situation. All other possibilities end up with four. Okay, so this is only half the chart. The other half is what if you're of the madhab that the dropped hamza is the second one, is the one in أموالهم? Well, that solves all possibilities because then the hamza that's remaining is the hamza of as-sufaha. So whether you're reading with tawassut, whether you're reading with qasr, whether you embrace change, whether you ignore change, all situations will end up with you reading the med four harakas. So that's the strongest opinion or strongest result. يعني maintaining the four harakas is the choice of Imam al-Shatibi, regardless of even if you're reading with qasr, maintaining the four harakas is his choice, and you can see why. See, all these choices end up with four, and that only one minority possibility with two, and and it's not reflected if you're of the opinion of if the first hamza is the one that's remaining. So I hope this kind of untangles this issue. I'd love to discuss it more if you like. If there's anything about Ibn Jazari's writing that you want more clarity, inshallah, I'd be glad to do that.